So what is the difference between self-esteem and self-respect?
That's it. Apar has asked the difference between self-esteem and self-respect. There is a great difference. Just going close to these two words and looking directly at them will tell us the difference. Esteem comes from the same root from where estimation comes. Estimation. Do you understand estimation? You estimate something when you do not know it fully. Estimation is approximate. To estimate something is to know its limits and hence determine its size in a rough, crude way. Are you getting it? To esteem something is to limit it. To esteem something is to estimate it. To say that this has this much of size and no more. Self-estimation is hence self-image, and that too a vague, hazy image. Self-esteem is a self-image, an image that you have about yourself. The thing about this image, this estimation, this esteem is that it is static and has come from others. I think that I am strong and intelligent because somebody has told this to me. Everybody says, I'm beautiful, so I am beautiful. My self-esteem takes a particular shape, which is an image given by others. You need to estimate only when you do not know. Only when you do not know do you depend on others. Do you see the link? Estimation is not needed when you really know, when it is directly available. If I ask somebody sitting at the back, what is the difference, what is the distance from your seat to this door? You will have to estimate, because you don't exactly know. Am I right? Am I right? But if I ask you, do you exist? Will you have to estimate, or do you just know? Will you have to estimate, or do you just know? How many of you are not wearing a wristwatch right now? Raise your hands. All right, you. Stand up, please. What is the time right now? Don't look around. What is the time right now? 2:15. Sit. Don't look around. Those who are not wearing wristwatches will not look around. Somebody else who is not wearing a watch, get up. Just get up. Yeah, what's the time right now? 2:30. Sit down. Somebody else get up who's not wearing a watch. What's the time? 2:20. Do you know what they are doing? They are estimating, and hence these approximate, rough, roundabout figures. 2:15, 2:20, 2:30. Did any of them say 2:42 and 11 seconds? They will not say that, because it is just an estimation. Now who's wearing a wristwatch? What's the time right now? Get up.
2:35.
Is it exactly 2:35? Look at it here. Somebody else who's wearing a wristwatch, get up. Yes, what's the time?
2:35.
2:35. Is it 2:35 really? 2:35:00? Then tell me the time. What is the time? All right, sit down. Are you guys carrying mobile phones? One of you who's carrying a mobile phone, get up and tell me the time. Quickly.
2:36.
2:36:00? 2:35:00? Ah. Do you see the difference here? What's happening? When you don't really know, then what do? All estimation is a kind of speculation. It's a kind of guesswork. It would always be inaccurate. And you estimate only when you don't really know. If I ask you, what is the mileage that your bike gives? You are justified if you give me an estimation. Because you can never really give me an absolutely accurate figure, right? At the most you will go to 2 places of decimals, 3 places of decimals, but it would still be inaccurate, would still be approximate, right? And the mileage also keeps changing. With respect to anything external, estimation is all right. With respect to anything external, estimation is all right. Because you can never have full and complete knowledge of the external. You travel from Delhi to this place, and what does that sign on the road say? The distance is 150 kilometers. Now, is it really 150 kilometers? Which point to which point? Exactly which point to which point? And is that exact? Has this 150 kilometer thing been measured with absolute precision? No. There would always be an error, right? There would always be a certain error. The error can be small, but nevertheless the error would always be present, right? In all external knowledge, estimation is inevitable. In all external things about the world, estimation is inevitable. It would necessarily happen. But when it comes to the self, what does the self mean? Self means me. When it comes to yourself, then if you start estimating, then if you start being roundabout, approximate, inaccurate, then there is a great problem. You may be limited in your knowledge of the external world. You may even depend on others in your knowledge of the external world. All that is justified. But to not to know yourself directly and instead estimate it or depend on an image given by others when it comes to yourself is not pardonable. Life will become very difficult. See, if I ask you how many students are sitting here, what will you do? You will estimate, right? You will quickly estimate and say, sir, so many. But because the others are others, if I ask you how many students are sitting here, you will estimate and tell me. But if I ask you, are you sitting here, will you still estimate? You will just surely say, yes, I am. Estimation is all right when it comes to others, the external world. The world rather, because the world is external, right? But estimation cannot be justified when it comes to yourself. What happens if I ask one of you, are you present here? And the fellow replies, probably yes. What kind of fellow would that be? Apar, I ask you, are you present here, Apar? And you say, let me think. And then you ask your neighbor, am I present? And then you ask this one, do I really look like being present? Are both of you sure? Now can I tell him I'm present? Sir, yes, I think I'm present and these two agree with me. Now what kind of man would that be? Yes? Either a moron or a drunkard. Either he has drunk too much or something has eaten his brains out. Right? Any sane man just knows. He doesn't have to estimate. I ask you, how many of you are here? You'll have to estimate, which is all right. Who wants to count the exact number? Especially if the answer has to be quick. Who wants to count the exact number? But kindly do not estimate when it comes to your life, your mind. Do not depend on others. No need to have a self-esteem. No need to have a self-esteem. Why? Because self-esteem comes from others. Self-esteem comes from the world has told you that you are extremely smart, and what do you start believing? I am. This is self-esteem. The world is constantly telling you you are not good looking because your color is dark, and you start believing it. This is self-esteem. A self-image coming from others is called a self-image coming from others is called clear? Self-respect is a totally different thing. Self-respect is a totally different thing. In fact, it is the opposite of self-esteem. Self-respect is self-awareness, not borrowed awareness, a direct awareness. The word respect is quite nice to look at. Spect means to see, and respect means to see again, look at things again. Respect means to look at something again and again till you understand it. So self-respect is self-understanding. Respect is understanding. Respect is so self-respect is self-awareness. Self-awareness is all right. Self-image is never all right. Self-awareness is wonderful. Self-awareness is a dynamic thing. Self-awareness means I know what is happening right now, whereas self-image is static. It says, come what may, I am a dude. Now there is nothing in your life that corroborates to the fact that you are a dude. Still you are holding that imagination. You heard that? Zindagi jhand hai. This is self-image. This is self-image. Just to wake you up. Otherwise, you people start sleeping. This is self-image. Self-awareness is I look at myself directly and I know what's happening. It flows. It changes moment to moment. It's dynamic. So in the morning, I was very attentive listening to a lecture. So what was I at that moment? Attentive. Right now I am not listening. So what am I right now? Inattentive. Self-awareness does not have a fixed label. It changes. It flows. It does not say that I am necessarily and always a good boy. When the mind is calm, then you are good. When the mind is not calm, then the same person is. Whereas self-image will say, if I am good, I am good. Whatever I do, I am good. No. That's an image. That's like a picture. You can have a picture of yourself in which you are smiling. Now, are you smiling 24 hours? But the picture is smiling. 24 hours. So that is self-image. The picture is smiling all the time. Do that. Smile, all of you. Keep smiling. Do that. But that's how your Facebook profiles look. And they're always smiling. And the fellow has just posted, all is lost, I am devastated, suicide. And the picture is still RIP, gone, finished. The picture is still. That is self-image. And not only is the picture smiling, others are coming and liking it. Number of likes is increasing. Number of likes is increasing day by day. Why did you post that smiling picture? Why did you post that smiling picture? So that it may draw likes. Would you ever post a picture which everybody hates? You don't do that, right? That's the thing about self-image. It always serves the needs of others. I will present a face that others like. And then they give you nice comments. Wow, cutie, nice, handsome, what a babe. And Hemlata Kumari has become a babe. And she is so happy. And Chandan Singh Chudamani is a dude. And there is no better day in life. Somebody has come and said dude, especially a girl if she says that. And the funny part is Hemlata Kumari and Chandan Singh Chudamani are both liking each other. He goes and likes her profile, she comes and likes his profile, and the two have formed a mutual admiration society. Self-image? Self-image? What can you do? What can you do? You know, there was this elephant. What? Elephant. So one day the elephant was feeling very, very belligerent. You understand belligerent? You know, just itching to fight. I need to fight somebody today. So the elephant goes to the lion and he says, come, fight me, come. The lion says, this one is in a particularly evil mood today. Avoid. He says, no, I don't want to fight. Why not? You are so big, so powerful, I don't want to fight. Go away. And you are in a bad mood. I will not fight. Go. Elephant says, okay. He goes to the bear. Come, fight. Bear says, no, I won't fight. Elephant says, why? Bear says, look at yourself, look at your size, and look at me. How can I fight you? Elephant says, all right. Then he goes to the fox. Come, fight. Fox says, 20 foxes like me cannot fight you. Why do you? Leave me, let me go away. Thank you. Elephant says, all right. Then he goes to a mouse. And the mouse was having, pinkish eyes that were running. And the nose was also running. This big a mouse. And the nose is running. Eyes are also running. He says the mouse, come, fight. Mouse says, no, I will not come. So elephant says, why? Today I am having a little cold. Otherwise, I would have shown you who is the boss. थोड़ा जुकाम है, नहीं तो बताता तेरे को. Self-image, what can you do about it? Surely, the mouse was on Facebook. And there were too many people who were telling him that you are bigger and mightier than an elephant. Huh? That's what you have friends for, who tell you that, boss, you are as big as a dinosaur. The mouse. Mousosaur. Self-image, it always comes from others. The tragedy is, if others can give it, others can also take it away. And then you feel that heartache. The one who allows his self-image to come from others will also have to bear the pain of his self-image being destroyed by others. You want to bear that pain? You want to be dependent on others? Then have a lot of self-awareness. Self-awareness means I am looking directly at myself. Self-awareness means I am looking directly at myself. And self-image means I am looking at myself through the eyes of others. If others say I am good, then I am good. If others say I am bad, then I am bad. So no self-esteem. Self-respect is all right. But even self-respect is just self-awareness. What is self-respect? Self-awareness. Is this clear? Yes? All right.